What up, y'all? I have a couple questions for you. They all relate. First, how many of you understand the NBA salary cap? How many of you understand the Warriors salary cap? What is the first tax apron? What is the second tax apron? Where do the Warriors stand in terms of this offseason and future offseasons? I get a lot of feedback and I say thank you that I do a great job at educating and helping you understand these technical terms to make you more knowledgeable about the NBA and the Warriors. Well, it's time to take this to a deep dive on the Warriors offseason. So in this episode of Warriors Digest, we're going to dive into what is their salary cap for this season, where do we stand, how did the players that we brought in like Hield, like Anderson, Melton, the players going out, Clay, CP3, how does this all come together? What more can we do this offseason? And secondly, Baron Davis, a Warrior for life from the mid-2000s, was on the Draymond Green podcast. And he trashed the organization about his time there before they became the We Believe, which we know was iconic. So we're going to break down what he said on this fun episode of Warriors Digest. Before we get into it, if you're not part of the 12% subscribe, it would mean so much for you to subscribe. And I'm going to share what we're always sharing now. I love the fact that you all seen this. Where is the Warrior fam a part of Warriors Digest? Keller Dan, I love your updates all the way from Burkina Faso. And you know where that's from? West Africa. Welcome, West Africa, to the family. You're keeping me excited for the Warriors season. Hit that sub button, y'all. And I agree. Thank you for joining us all the way from Burkina Faso. Congrats from Belgium. Love the channel. From you, Seth Senora 1834. Thank you for being here from Europe. King J Official 10. Love your content, bro. Dubs all day. Watching from Papua New Guinea. And love that. Again, we got a global audience here. And then lastly, we got one more for you. I don't live in an exotic foreign country. I live in Petaluma, California. And I've been listening to you daily, often since you started. Great show, great news, and you stay on point. Wingnut 4200. Welcome from California. You don't need to be from exotic country. California is exotic enough to other parts of the world. And I love the fact that we have the USA fans and the global fans as well. And so we got Papua New Guinea, USA, Belgium, and Burkina Faso. Thank you all. Keep commenting. Keep giving me all your feedback. And let's get into today's episode. So how the Warriors sit against the 2024-2025 salary cap luxury tax. So where are we at in our offseason? Can we bring more players in? Can we make trades? What does it look like? So to start, the Golden State Warriors, let me make this big. To start, the Golden State Warriors over the last 3 NBA seasons paid an average of $170 million in luxury tax payments, which is $36 million over the $140.5 million 2024-2025 salary cap threshold, and $5.7 million over the $170.8 luxury tax threshold. It's a lot of numbers there. Long story short, we've been above the aprons, so we've been penalized heavily. That is why Joe Lacob has consistently said if we're not a team competing for the finals, he doesn't want to pay heavy taxes. Chris Paul, $30 million contract, expendable. Klay Thompson, not giving him $30-40 million, that type of deal, expendable, because they don't want to pay these taxes for a play-in team. So where does that put us now? As it stands, the team's total salary for the upcoming season is $177.7 million, putting the Warriors just $534,000 below the hard cap. Because of what we've done this offseason, and it was mainly the Waters trade getting him back for sending over salary, we're hard capped at that first apron. And I'm going to show that in a second. So we can't spend over, our salary can't be over $178 million. Basically, that's what that's saying. So just know that's the number right there. $178 million in that range. That means we can't fill the 15th roster slot until the end of the season or toward the end of the season. If GM Mike Dunleavy, head coach Steve Kerr, team governor Mike Dunleavy can't execute a trade this offseason, the Warriors would be left with its current 14-man roster, including 3 two-way contracts. And we just talked about Daquan Plowden potentially getting that 3-way contract over Pat Spencer. That was the previous episode. I know you all liked it a lot. I saw the comments. Thank you. So a 14-man roster. Basically, you have your starting 5, backup 5, and 4 players on the bench. So let's break this in. This is going to be a massive thing to show. So let's dive into it. Here's our 23-24 team salary. You can see each individual salary ranked by how much the player cost. What is their cap hit? Pretty much it's the same. Sometimes it's not. If it's deferred money or things of that. You see the tax hit, the apron hit, and percentage of cap. As you can expect, Steph is the biggest. 40% of the cap is going to Steph's $55 million salary. Wiggins, 18%, but he's not playing like he deserves that. You look at the type. Bird means you hold the bird rights, basically the rights from when they were drafted. MLE is mid-level exception, and then rookie scale is the rookie contract. Then you see minimum. Waters is on a veteran minimum contract. You see the 15th spot, empty. We can't do anything right now. TC is a training camp contract. So say we wanted somebody like Plowden, somebody like Collins, somebody like Thompson who've been playing well in the Summer League. You can bring him in for a training camp contract, and then potentially they go G League. They get signed somewhere else. Right now, currently, are 3 two-way contracts, Pat Spencer, Reese Beekman, Quinton Post. So yes, you see Post as a two-way contract. You may be saying, what the heck? Why is he not signed for a normal roster spot? So let's go into that, and then I'm going to come back to this. As currently constructed, as I already mentioned, the Warriors cannot sign a 15th player until late in the season because of how we don't have any room. We can't sign a player for $500,000. It's below any minimum. This even includes Quinton Post, who's eligible for a $1.2 million rookie minimum contract. Right now, they don't have a place for him, only a two-way. A two-way allows you to give him less money. He goes between the G League and he goes between the NBA team. You can be on 55 game day rosters when you're on a two-way contract. So if we only have, again, let's bring this up again. You can see in the top right, first tax apron space, $534,000. We don't have $1.2 million worth of space to sign Post. So we cannot sign Post to a normal contract unless we trade somebody and make space where, say, we bring one player back, we trade away 2, then you know what? That means you can sign Post. So you see in these trades for Markkanen, we're giving up potentially 3 players. Some of the trades I've seen include Moody, GP2, Wiggins, Brandon, Kuminga, any variation of that. Same for Brandon Ingram or Zach LaVine. The Warriors need to give up multiple players. If they want to sign Post to a proper contract, not a two-way contract, they have to give up more players than they're getting back so they open up a space. Know that. Let me make this bigger again. Our total roster cost on the right side, you can see, is $191 million. We're paying $14 million in taxes. Not as bad as previous years where we said it was $35 million-ish. So, Warriors fans, I see all the comments. We're going to sign more players. We're going to make a trade. We cannot. That's the easy answer. We cannot make another move. So, Waters, Melton, Hield, Anderson are the players brought in. Out. Clay, CP3, and not Santos. He's there. What's that guy? I'm blanking on the last person. I apologize. There's one player who wasn't playing. I'm sorry. I should know that. He's gone. Long story short, we're done for the offseason. The Warriors, and Mike Dunleavy Jr. said this. He expects Wiggins to play better after 2 down years. Was an all-star. Helped us win the championship. 2 down years. Expect him to play better. He's had a good offseason. Expect Steph to play the same, not get hurt. Draymond to not get suspended. GP2 to stay healthy. A lot of expectations. Kuminga to take the next step to the all-star level. Moody, more playing time, ideally. Pajemski, build on his all-star campaign. His all-rookie campaign. TJD, a full season under his belt. And then, of course, the new players coming in. Can they fit the role of what Clay provided? Hield shooting the same percentage as Clay. Anderson being an all-around guy, glue guy. Melton, good defense, decent shooting. And what can potentially Beekman and Post give us on a two-way contract? So expect this to be your team moving forward unless a major trade happens. The question is, what's happening with marketing? There's no updates right now. I promise you that. I'll keep you updated. It's a quiet period, probably till August. So the other thing, the Warriors have additional access to their $4.7 million biannual exception to use on a free agent or in a trade. However, they don't have enough space to use it because of the hard cap. So trades can obviously shake up a lot, but they can't use it. So again, we can use that thing if we have space, but we can't bring in someone's salary because of where we're at. For us right now, because we're hard capped at the first apron, we can only bring in the same amount of salary that we have. So we can't go ahead and use the $4.7 million biannual exception on the free agent or in trade because we don't have space. So we have to get $4.7 million below the hard cap to make that happen. So again, in a trade, if they do that, maybe that works out. So that takes us to the end of that part. Again, comment your thoughts, question on the salary cap, and let's talk about Baron Davis recalls Warriors practices being like a funeral in their Montgomery. If you're an OG Warriors fan, you're going to know this. If you're new, you're about to get an education lesson. Davis was with the Warriors from 2005 and 2008. He was traded there, and he said, I think he was traded from the Pelicans. Davis, who also made it that Montgomery not talk to him for a year. He told Montgomery not to talk to him when that's the coach. Crazy. You can tell the relationship they had. Every day that you walked in, it was like a funeral. Like, damn, man, somebody doesn't want to be here today. I was like, yeah, we can't keep doing this, dog. I can't keep coming to the gym and they ain't cracking. Why are we so depressed? We hoop. Ultimately, the former point guard to Montgomery's coaching style said that's the reason why his coaching style. It was really because of like, we were practicing, you know what I meant? How we were practicing. But what exactly did it mean? I had Mike Montgomery the year before, and he coached like we were stupid. He talked like we were stupid. These are professional athletes. They know how to play. And you can't talk to them like they're college kids or high school kids. 2 years in the Montgomery's tenure in Golden State, the former coach was replaced by franchise icon Don Nelson, paving the way for the We Believe Warriors team that turned the funeral into a party. So long story short, he said the practices were dead. The organization was in a rut. The team was having no fun. And they weren't. They were the laughingstock of the league. The We Believe kind of changed that. His dunk over, I forget the player, but on the Jazz was iconic. The We Believe Warriors also, they swept the Mavericks. They were the number 1 seed. Golden State was the 8th seed. Swept the Mavericks, one of the first times ever it happened in the NBA. So it was a big, big cultural shift. And then what happened when the We Believe Warriors were done? Steph, Dre, and Clay were drafted, and they became the 2010 Warriors. And that team obviously won 3 championships, the 4th coming in 2021, 2022. So a little bit education lesson. New Warriors fans, you may not know this. Warriors used to suck. They were not good. They were the laughingstock in the NBA. And now you know a little bit of the inside. If you don't listen to Draymond Green's podcast, I would go recommend. He provides amazing insight around the NBA, around the Warriors, but also he has athlete interviews that he does. Baron Davis, he did Mark Cuban, obviously the governor of the Mavericks, or kind of not anymore. He had Looney on. So he gets a lot of interesting characters to come on to talk. And hopefully you enjoyed this conversation, learning about the Warriors salary cap and what we're doing this season. Comment your thoughts and let me know. And of course, we'll see you on the next episode.